This was my cycle 1 year ago, and this is the speedometer I tried to create. And this is the motor which, when you spun, detected your speed. I mean, it seemed pretty straightforward, right? But that's not how it always plays. And just after that moment, I realized that the motor had died. It was no longer generating any voltage. So I went out and bought a new one, only to realize that the voltages were so fuzzy that it couldn't pick a single reading. And hence I scrapped the idea. Now, this is the new and improved speedometer with a beautiful analog reading and wonderful lights. Here's a demonstration of how it looks. Now, let's take a look at the brake lights. So for the brake lights, there are two LED pins which make contact with the battery when the brake is pressed. So now the question is, how does it detect the speed? So in order to completely understand how this speedometer works, you must understand what the function of the Hall effect sensor is. This sensor right here. So let me explain. So in the case of a Hall effect sensor, there are two terminals, positive and negative. Now we know current flow from positive to negative, the flow of positive charges. So like this. So now, since the current was perceived as the flow of positive charges, it goes from positive to negative. But we know now that it's the flow of electrons, negative charges. So actually it should go from negative to positive. So now we know when an electron is exposed to a magnetic field, let's say this is a magnetic field B, then it feels no force if it's stationary. But in case if the electron is moving with some velocity and it's subjected to a magnetic force, field. Now we know the formula of force for a charge is BQV. It's like BQV. So now we can see it has some relation with velocity. In this case, velocity was 0, whereas here it has some velocity. So then it feels some force. So in current, there is flow of negative charges, right? And when it's subjected to a magnetic field, let's say like this, it feels a force. So using the right hand rule, we can tell that the force is acting downwards into the paper. So like if you can see, you can think of it like this. This is the plane in which all this is drawn, and the force is in this direction, into the paper. Like inside the paper. I think you get it. So basically it causes the current to deviate a bit, like this kind of, So what a Hall effect sensor does is it detects this deviation, and according to that it sends a signal. So now as you can see, this is the magnet and this is the Hall effect sensor. So basically what happens is, let's say this is the Hall effect sensor and this is the magnet. The magnet is approaching the Hall effect sensor. So now let's picture this as my wheel and the magnet is here. So basically when the magnet reaches here, it starts a timer and it waits for one full revolution. And once that is done, it counts the time, t, let's say. So now I've already given the program the tire circumference, let's say 2 pi r, where r is this radius. Now this is a constant, so we can compute the velocity by distance by time. So 2 pi r by t, which is the magnitude of the velocity, if speed basically. So that's how it computes it. So that is all about my speedometer, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, then like the video. And yeah, bye bye.